In the next three videos, starting from this one, we'll be talking about structures of linear systems. And the first video under that will be about column space and null space. Of course, we've seen this before under a different topic in the set of videos we considered before this, but this bears reconsidering. So let's look at column space and null space in another light. So in linear algebra, column space and null space describe how a matrix acts on vectors, right? So for instance, let a matrix A be in the real number system, m by n real number system that is, and consider the system AX equals B. So column space describes all possible outputs, okay? Null space describes which inputs are sent to zero, right? So, so straight up, let's go to talk about column space. By definition, if A is equal to, the collection of A1, A2 up to AN, of course, all these are columns in a matrix, as we already know. So the column space of A can then be said to be the call A equals the collection of all C1 A1 plus C2 A2 up all the way to Cn An, such that the Ci's, the constants, are all real numbers. So it is the set of all linear combinations of the columns of A. That's what a column space is. So if you have a matrix A, so the set of all linear combinations of the columns of A will give you the column space. So it is a subspace of the m-dimensional real number system. So we go on to talk about column space and linear systems. So if you consider AX to be equal to B, this system has a solution if and only if this right-hand side B is an element of the column space. So if you can find the solution in the column space, then the system has a solution, right? And of course, if you find B in the column space, like if and only if means you can go back and forth. So this means that B must be a linear combination of the columns of A. So the left-hand side has got to be a linear combination of the columns of A. So then we talk about column space in terms of the geometric interpretation. So in the three-dimensional system, one independent column is a line through the origin. Two independent columns represent a plane through the origin, while three independent columns are entire spaces. Now, independent is key here because when you have two independent columns, it's as good as having a line, because they are basically the same. Three dependent columns will also will still be a line because that's just the two other columns are not adding any new information. So the column space is the span of the column vectors, like we already know. So the column space is the span of the column vectors. So let's talk about column span then. So if A is this 3 by 2 matrix 1 2 2 4 3 6, of course you can already see that 2 4, the second row is twice the first, the third row is thrice the first also. So you can see, I mean, before we at the risk of preempting what is going to happen, we already know that the only row giving information here is 1 2. If you are looking at column, the second column is multiple, is twice the first. So if you have, in terms of columns, only 1 2 3 is going to really give you any tangible information. So let's look at the columns anyways. So A1 is 1 2 3 and A2 is 2 4 6. So, and you can see since A2 is equal to 2A1, that is the second column is twice the first column, 1 2 3 2 4 6. The columns are dependent. That's what that means. Therefore, we can say that the column space of A is simply the span of the first of the most basic column, which is 1 2 3. So it means that 2 4 6 is not adding any new information to the column space, and this will simply be a line in the three-dimensional real number system. And example 2, we talk about solvability. So imagine that you have A to be 1 0 0 1 1 1 and B is 1 2 4. So you want to solve AX equals B. So now we do the augmented matrix with the solution, right? So you have 1 0 1 0 1 1, then 1 2 4. So you augment with the right hand side, and then you can do row reduction, which I've done a whole lot of times. So to do row reduction, of course, this is already a pivot. So, but you want to get this to go to zero. So the way to do that is just have 1, 0, 1. First row remains. Second row also remains 0, 1, 2. Then for the third row, you just have 1 minus 1, 0, 1 minus 0. What's happening here? From okay. So I think it's okay. I guess this is this being used as a pivot now? Okay. I guess I have to do my own. I have to do my let me do the row reduction on my own. I think the approach here, I don't really get what happened right here. Okay, 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1, then 4 minus 1 is 3. So at the end of the day, 0 is equal to 1. So let me do that. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 to 1, 1, 4. Okay, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 to 1, 1, 4. 1, 0, 1, 0, 1 to 1, 1, 4. So you have 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 1, 4. Okay. So we want to do row reduction. So that by row reduction, we simply mean that this we should have a pivot here, and a pivot here, and everything below should be zero. Basically, that's the meaning of that. So if we take that further, so we know, of course, row one should remain 1, 0, 1. Row two is 0, 1, 2. So we just need to get this to be 0 and this to be 0, 2. So, but let's do it one after the other. Let's do it one after the other. So, we want to get this to be 0 now. So we can just subtract. So we just say this is row 1, row 2, and row 3. Then now this is the new row 1 remains row 1, row 2 remains row 2. But row 3 now is going to be the old row 3 minus the old row 1, because this is the pivot for that. So 1 minus 1 is 0, 1 minus 0 is 1, 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay, so we have that. So I guess a step was skipped there. So next now, we have our pivot here. Everything here is 0. So now we have this pivot now. So this has got to be 0 now. All right. So we want to make this one 0. So now this is the pivot for this at this level. So we then have row 1, of course, remains row 1 again. Row 2 row 2 remains row 2 again because we have a pivot there. Now row 3 is going to be such that you have the this row 3 now minus row 2, this row 2, because the pivot is in the second row. So we have 1, 0, 1. Then for next you have 0, 1, 2. Then you now have 0 minus 0, 0, 1 minus 1, 0, 3 minus 2, 1. Okay, now we get why this is like this. Now, don't forget, this is an augmented matrix. So you can see here now that from the original matrix itself, we have a 0 row here. So there's some kind of inconsistency. Of course, and of course, apart from that, you see at this point now, 0 and 1 shows inconsistency. That is, if we bring it over and we say this is 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, and we have that together with the variables, because normally this system should be coming from, say, x1, x2, x3, or xyz, and that is equal to that is equal to 1, 2, 1. Okay, so that means you have x equals 1, because this will multiply this now. So you have only x there. So x is equal to this one. Then 0, 1 with everything. So you have y, right? Y is equal to 2. But lastly, you have here 0 is equal to 1. That is inconsistent. So this is inconsistent, and that makes the whole thing not make sense. So for that row reduction, a step was skipped, so we still get the same result. So the last row shows that 0 is equal to 1. This is inconsistent. So it means that B is not an element of the column space of A. So in that case, no solution exists because of the inconsistency. Then let's talk about, so with that we are done with column space. Let's go to null space. For null space, the definition is this. The null space of A is null A equals the collection of all possible values of X such that AX is equal to 0. So it is the set of all solutions of AX equals 0. And it is a subspace of Rn. So remember, column space is a subspace of Rm, while null space is a subspace of Rn. If the matrix itself already originally defined is a matrix in the M by N matrix, right? So column space in Rm, while null space is in Rn. So let's talk about the meaning of null space now. Uh, some kind of intuitive meaning of null space. Null space contains all vectors that are mapped to 0 by A, right? So all vectors that are mapped to 0 by A, these vectors represent directions that are collapsed by the transformation. So we have a collapsing happening because you get values of x being 0 in all of that place. So null space in the geometric form, the geometric interpretation is such that if A maps Rn to Rm, null space lives in this Rn, okay, and it shows directions that vanish. So cases only the set of 0 gives no collapse. So the line, so we have line one collapsed direction, and we have a plane two collapsed directions in that case. So imagine for the case of null space, given that you have set A, matrix 1 2 1 2 4 2. Of course, clearly line 2 is double of line 1. So if you want to solve AX equals 0, what do? In matrix form, you know that's 1 2 1 2 4 2 multiplied by x, y, z, and that is equal to 0 0. So if you do row reduction here now, you discover that this whole row becomes 0, right? So that automatically means that the line, it is just one. So the whole this 1 to 1 is 242 is essentially 1 to 1 because it's double of 1 to 1. So in that case, now we're going to have infinitely many solutions. And how do we take care of that? We first of all have x plus 2y plus z equals 0. And just like we used to do, we have x. So if you now say y is equal to s and z is equal to t, so that means you have x plus 2s plus t equals 0. That means x is equal to minus 2s minus t. And you can then form the basis, okay? To form the basis now, here is, x is minus 2s minus t, y is s, z is t. So if you now want to form the basis, so it means you have, if you put s out here, because everything has now been, x, y, and z have been written in terms of s and t. So for x now, I mean, for the whole thing, so you have this x can be, so when you talk about s, for x, the coefficient, you have coefficient of minus 2 for s in for x, and then for t, okay, still for x, right? We're talking about s and t. So for x, we have minus 2. For y, the coefficient of s is 1. For z, there's no s there, so that will be 0. Plus t. So if you now have t, for x, we have the coefficient of t is minus 1 for x. For y, there's no t for y, so we have 0. For z, we have t, so that's 1. So we have minus 210 plus t into s into minus 210 plus t into minus 101. And now we have basis here. So we can then say, therefore, the null space of A spans minus 210 and minus 101, like that. Now, then we have what's called the rank nullity theorem. Interestingly, the last video on structures of linear systems is going to be dedicated to rank nullity theorem. So we're going to look at this again. So, but this is our first taste of it. So for a matrix A, which belongs to which belongs to Rm by n system, so the dimension of the column space plus the dimension of the null space is equal to n, right? It is equal to n, where the dimension of column A is the rank, and the dimension of the the dimension of the column space of A is the rank, and the dimension of the null space of A is the nullity. Okay, so it means if you add the rank and the nullity, you get 0. In the next video, we'll be talking about rank and nullity. But for now, we still have this meaning of rank nullity. Input space splits into Rn, meaning useful directions plus collapsed directions. So it's more like when you get answers and when you don't get answers. So some answers are lost. So rank is useful directions, while nullity talk about collapsed directions. So look at example 4. You have given 1 2 3 2 4 6. If you do the row reduction, of course, we already know we're going to get this. Since this is a multiple of this, we are going to end up getting 1 2 3 as the essential thing here. So we have a 0 row, meaning that there are infinitely many solutions. But of course, from here now, looking at the columns now, only one column has a pivot. So the first column has pivots 1, second column has no pivots, and third column also has no pivots. So in that case, we can say the rank is 1 because there's only one non-zero row. So that's the rank, which is because we have one pivot. And then n equals 3. So n equals 3. That means you have three columns, right? N equals 3. That talks about the total n. But then the nullity automatically, since we have only one rank, the nullity will have to be 3 minus 1, which is 2. So the nullity is these two columns that do not have pivots like that. So if you check 1 plus 2 is 3, as agreed, the rank plus the nullity should be equal to the order of the matrix. So, 24.5 now, column space versus null space, just a comparison. So, by definition, column space spans, it talks about the span of columns, while null space talks about solutions of AX equals 0. Then, for the column space, the space for column space is the m-dimensional uh, real number system, while the space for null space is the n-dimensional R. So, column space m-dimensional, null space n-dimensional. So the purpose of column space is for possible outputs, while the purpose for null space is for vanishing inputs. Then you find the column space by taking pivot columns, while you find the null space by taking free variables. In the previous video, we had talked about pivot columns and free variables. So, what's the exam strategy for finding each of these things? For finding column space, you do row reduce of A, identify pivot columns, take original pivot columns, and write their span, right? Just like we did previously. For null space, solve AX equals 0 by row reduction, identify free variables, write parametric form, and extract basis vectors, just like we did. So, takeaways. Column space is equal to all possible outputs, while null space is all invisible outputs. So all output inputs that vanish rather. So AX equals B has solution if and only if B is a subset, it belongs to the column space of A. Then rank plus nullity is equal to number of columns, and then both are vector spaces, right? So practice problems now. Okay, let me just show them in fives so I don't take too much time talking about them. Oh, okay, maybe that's not so easy. Maybe I can show them in twos. Okay, so find the column space of this now. Well, to find the column space, you can see that 1, 2 minus 1 is essentially the basic thing here because this is just triple of it. So I can already say that the column space of A is going to span 1, 2 minus 1 because 3, 6 minus 3 is a multiple of 1, 2 minus 1. For problem 2, determine whether the system AX equals B is consistent. Well, I can clearly say it is not consistent because 1, 2 is just a repetition of this 1, 2. 3, 6 is triple of this, so it's not consistent. So, or better still, since we are talking, we can focus on column. So this column, second column is twice the first column. So the column is just going to span this one because 262 is not adding any new information. Is that how to look at it? Yeah, I think I can say that. It's not consistent. So problem 3 and 4, find the basis for the null space of A. Of course, this is twice this now. So, I mean, you just have a span of 1, 2, if you're looking at this. So, same, I mean, we have a lot of that happening all over the place. Determine the dimension of the column space and null space of this. So, I think we saw the case of basis and dimension in the last video, that video 23. You want to check that out. Then problems 5 and 6. Find the values of K for which B is in the column space of A. So that B is in the column space of A. Of course, I think that should be 1, right? That should be 1 because if we have 1, we can have 1, 2, 3. So everything just rhymes. Then problem 7 and 8, we have find a basis for the column space of this. So the basis will be the span of, okay, 1 to 1. Okay, these are not repetition. So we have to do, we have to do row reduction to know which column will be admitted or not. It can be everything. Oh, okay, yeah, it can still be everything because this is not none is a multiple of the other, right? Except that if we look in terms of rows now, 246 is a multiple of this. So yeah, we are probably going to have span 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1. If you look at in terms of rows, but I mean, just follow the procedure. So we have 8, 9, and 10. So just try your hands on this and let's see how everything play out. So thank you so much for listening. Let me know how helpful this is for you. If there's something else you'd like me to try out, feel very free to let me know. If you have subscribed already, I must thank you so much for doing that. If you have not, what are you waiting for? Go ahead, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. Having done that, You can as well become a member of the channel by clicking on join, and that gives you some special privileges as you'll see when you click on join. Ultimately, don't forget to comment, like, and share so that more people can have access to the great content I have going on here. Till I come your way again, keep doing maths right. Bye.